Hey everybody, and welcome to Yoga Shorts. My name is Lola and I am with the Sharon Forks branch of the Forsyth County Public Library System in Georgia, inviting you to take a step away from the busyness of your day, to take a break for yourself, to take a moment to take a breath, move the body a little bit, and maybe move back into your day feeling a little more refreshed, or maybe wrapping up your day and feeling a little more relaxed. So today we're going to focus on a position that would be seated on the ground, whatever ground that is that you have near you. Seated right now on a mat, you could just be seated on a blanket, on a beach towel out in the yard, whatever's comfortable for you. It's great if you can be sitting outside if the weather works for you. Otherwise, any place that you can sit on the ground or the floor will work quite well. And as always, if you have any health conditions, honor your body and follow any instructions by a doctor. If it hurts, don't do it. And just make sure that it feels right for your body. So today we're going to be just taking a look at the seated position a little bit, taking a 3-part breath, and then sitting in a posture called staff pose. So first, let's go ahead and get settled in. So if you can find your comfortable seated position, whatever that position is, and if you like to use a blanket up underneath your hips, that sometimes feels really good as well. Go ahead and send your gaze towards the ground, or close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that. And let your hands rest on your knees. And begin to notice your natural breath rhythm. And take your right hand and place it on your belly, and your left hand on your heart. And this helps you also feel how your breath feels from the outside, not just from the inside. So notice where you feel your hands moving. Is it your upper chest? On the inhales, ebbing and flowing? Or is it under the hand that's on the belly? Maybe you feel your belly rising and falling. Or maybe it's that spot in between the two hands, that middle rib cage area. Well, let's start practicing our 3-part breath. So first, inhale deep into the belly. Just send your breath down into the belly. And exhale. Now on the next inhale, inhale into the belly, not forcing it, just focusing the breath into the belly. And then let that breath expand into that middle rib cage area. And then exhale from the top down. And then inhale into the belly and the middle rib cage area, all the way up into the upper rib cage, all the way up to where your upper hand is, up into the chest area. And as you exhale, let the exhale come from the top down, through the middle rib cage and all the way out with the belly. And then one more inhale into the belly, the middle rib cage, all the way up to the chest area. And on your exhale, exhale from the top, the middle, and the lower, all the way. Exhale completely and let your hands come back to rest on your knees. Inhaling back into your normal breath rhythm. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes or refocus your gaze. So we want to find a seated position that we're comfortable in. So I'll give you a couple of options. A lot of times when we come to our seated position, it's kind of a familiar position that a lot of people call crisscross applesauce, at least if you're a parent, where the feet are underneath the shins and then your weight is on the sitting bones in the back. So another possibility for you to try is to let the right foot come in towards the left thigh, and then the left foot comes in and the heel rests in front of that right ankle. So both feet are actually on the floor. So it gives a little bit firmer foundation and the knees are a little bit further apart. So you can give that position a try and see how it feels. See if you feel nice and grounded, the weight balanced on your sitting bones. And once you find, if you want to give this position a try, other option is to slide the blanket up under your hips in whichever position that you choose. It gives you a little bit of a lift and especially if your knees come up a little higher, it may help to lower them down a little bit. So I have the right foot against the left thigh, and the left foot is sort of in front of the right shin, resting on the ground in front of me. So once you feel stable and balanced like that, let's take a nice big inhale here and exhale. And check your posture. Make sure that you're sitting nice and tall. So once you have either the blanket underneath you or your firm foundation, you may find that you can sit a little bit taller and let your shoulders rest away from your ears. Just taking a couple breaths here, noticing how it feels to be firmly grounded or feel a firm foundation. Sometimes when everything else in the world is kind of crazy, it's nice just to literally touch down to the floor or touch down to the ground. I feel a little bit more grounded to know that the earth is still there and still stable for us. So notice your sitting posture, the outsides of your legs, make any adjustments. If you find your knees are a little bit higher, you can also put pillows underneath here so you can get more of a relaxed seated posture. Check your spine, make sure you're sitting nice and tall. And drop your shoulders away from your ears. And I'll check with your jaw and make sure you're not holding any tension there. Take a couple of your natural breaths here. Just enjoying the feeling of being firmly grounded. For a moment of peace and quiet maybe. And then we'll move into the staff posture. And so I'm going to move the blanket for just a little bit, but you can use this for staff posture as well. So the staff posture, you're going to send your feet and legs out nice and long. It's keeping the back straight, sitting up nice and tall. And this can be a real stretch for some people, the backs of the legs, just sitting with the feet straight out. Another good chance to use the blanket underneath your hips. I'm going to slide that up underneath my hips. And when you do that, it tips the pelvis forward a little bit, so it may make it a little more comfortable, so give that a try. So I've just got my feet straight out in front of me. Flex your toes, so send your toes up towards the ceiling. So you're sitting nice and tall. Your heels are reaching away, your toes are up towards the ceiling. Now, if you find that this is an uncomfortable stretch for the backs of your legs, go ahead and bend the legs a little bit. But keep the feet flexed. So you're sitting nice and tall with your legs straight out in front of you. If your legs are able to touch down, see if you can press down a little bit with the legs, not hard, on the ground while your feet are flexed. And see if you can keep that nice tall posture. Let your breath flow in its natural rhythm. Double check your shoulders, make sure they haven't crept up. And if you find that your back is curved a little bit, maybe go ahead and bend those knees a little bit so you can keep the back nice and straight. So try sitting here in the staff pose. You can rest your hands on your knees, depending on where your legs find themselves. Sit in your nice tall position. Take a couple of natural breaths here. See if there's any more room to sit a little taller. The feet flexed, the heels pressing away. So imagine the heels pressing away from the pelvis, making nice long legs. Stretch on the back of the legs, opening the back of the legs. And when you're ready, go ahead and bend those legs. See if you can come back to your seated position, whichever seated position you prefer, either with your feet up under your legs or with the position that we talked about a little earlier. And you can switch your feet, so the left foot is touching the right thigh and the right foot is resting in front of the left shin. And you may find that it feels real different from one side to the next. Something interesting to experiment with as you're practicing feeling grounded, taking a moment for yourself. So today we took a couple of our three-part breaths, breathing into the belly and into the middle rib cage and the upper chest. And then take a look at different options for seated positions, using a blanket up underneath your hips. You could also use a pillow. And just taking a moment to sit tall in our grounded position, and then sending our legs out long in staff position, keeping our spine tall with our legs long or slightly bent knees, and with our feet flexed. So I hope all is going well with you. I look forward to seeing you next time, and thanks for joining me.